Hello，testing，阿弥陀佛。请大家记得将手机调为震动或关机。在这里提醒大家一下，你们的手机有调为震动或者关机吗？请大家合作。真佛宗美国西雅图雷藏寺同修南无阿弥陀佛本尊法与会大众虔诚恭敬合掌，恭迎无上法王圣尊莲生活佛师母莲香上师与会大众唱诵莲花红子经咒。
Welcoming our minister to the Living Buddha Lian-Sheng to enter into the temple.
问候师尊好，师母好，大家好。顶礼坛城做大礼拜，一拜根本传承上师及诸佛。Om Ah Hom。 拜诸菩萨 องค์อาหม三拜诸护法金刚 องค์อาหม四平等一起手。恭请根本上师法王圣尊莲生活佛升法王座。
With utmost reverence, we're inviting His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng to ascend to the Dharma throne.
请师母莲香上师上座。
Inviting Simu Vajamaster Lian-Sheng to please take the seat.
请仁波切诸位上师上座。
Inviting the
请
Buddha
法
and all
师上
Dharma
座。
Masters
与
to
会
please
大
take
众
the
请
seats.
就座。
We're inviting all participants to please be seated.
首先，我们欢迎廖大使东洲伉俪。
To welcome Ambassador Daniel Liao and Mrs. Liao today.
同修，南无西方阿弥陀佛本
The
尊
group
法。
practice tonight is Amitabha
观
Buddha.
想真佛中传承。
Visualize two Buddha lineage. Namo Vairocana Buddha. Namo Buddha Lokana. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Padma Kumara. Namo Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Visualize Grandmaster and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas sitting on top of our heads radiating light Suprasa Sisat Padma Kumara mantra.
องค์กุรุเรียนซึ่งสิทธิหมองค์กุรุเรียนซึ่งสิทธิหมองค์กุรุเรียนซึ่งสิทธิหมองค์กุรุเรียนซึ่งสิทธิหมองค์กุรุเรียนซึ่งสิทธิหมองค์กุรุเรียนซึ่งสิทธิหม
Perform the visualization of the four immeasurables, ancestors and relatives from the father side on your right, from the mother side on your left, friends and teachers behind you, enemies and karmic creditors in front of you, and all sentient beings around you, together practicing tantric dharma and ultimately attaining Buddhahood. Wake up call. Recite purification mantras and the Atyati mantra.
Om Vasudhara Dan Ho Ho Hom Namo Samanto Motoran Om Duru Duru Dewe Soha.
Recite invocation mantra.
Hom Soha. Om A Hom Soha. Om A Hom Soha.
We sincerely invoke the Holy Red Crown Vajramaster, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. Namo the Holy Red Crown Vajramaster, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. The Holy Red Crown Vajramaster, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng. The main deity of the group practice, Namo Amitabha Buddha of the Western Paradise. The main deity of the group practice, Namo Amitabha Buddha of the Western Paradise. The main deity of the group practice, Namo Amitabha Buddha of the Western Paradise. Namo Vairocana Buddha at the center, Akshobha Buddha to the east, Ratnasama Buddha to the south, Amoghasiddhi Buddha to the north, Namo Sakyamuni Buddha, Namo Medicine Buddha, Namo Golden Mother of the Primordial Jet Pond, Namo Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, Namo Padma Kumara, Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Namo Manjushri Bodhisattva, Namo Maitreya Bodhisattva, Namo Vajrasattva, Namo Guru Padmasambhava, Namo Mahacundi Buddha Mother, all Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities, all Buddhas of the 3 times in the 10 directions, all Bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas, Namo Mahaprajna Paramita. Great homage using visualization for student Guru and all Buddhas. Visualize for procession on the ground, release the mudra. Second, to all Bodhisattvas. Visualize for procession on the ground, release the mudra. Third, to all Herukas and Dharma protectors. Visualize for procession on the ground, release the mudra. Fourth, head bow. Reset completion Mandala offering, visualize the transformations of the offerings to become innumerable to fill the whole cosmic space. Make the offering above to the lineage root guru, all the lineage gurus, Buddha jewel, Dhamma jewel, and Sangha jewel to form bright white light. To make the offering to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities, and below to all sentient beings. Reset the offering verse and mantra. Mount Meru, 4 continents and sun and moon, transfer into precious offerings for the Buddhas. May these wondrous treasures and marriage purge our karma to all of us substitution. Fourfold refuge, visualize our lineage root guru, all the lineage gurus, Buddha jewel, Dhamma jewel, and Sangha jewel to form bright white light to empower us. Reset the mantra. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dhammaye, Namo Sankhyaye. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dhammaye, Namo Sankhyaye. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dhammaye, Namo Sankhyaye. Armor protection from Vajrapani mantra 7 times. Om Bodhiranjari, Om Bodhiranjari, Om Bodhiranjari, Om Bodhiranjari, Om Bodhiranjari, Om Bodhiranjari, Om Bodhiranjari. Reset hiking Guan Yin Sutra. Namo 观世音菩萨摩诃萨，南无弥勒菩萨摩诃萨，南无虚空藏菩萨摩诃萨，南无普贤菩萨摩诃萨，南无金刚手菩萨摩诃萨，南无妙吉祥菩萨摩诃萨，南无除盖藏菩萨摩诃萨，南无地藏王菩萨摩诃萨，南无诸尊菩萨摩诃萨。观世音菩萨，南无佛，南无法，南无僧。佛国有缘，佛法相应，常乐我净，有缘佛法。南无摩诃般若波罗蜜是大神咒，南无摩诃般若波罗蜜是大明咒，南无摩诃般若波罗蜜是无上咒，南无摩诃般若波罗蜜是无等等咒。南无净光密密佛，法藏佛，狮子吼神诸幽王佛。佛告须弥灯王佛，法护佛，金刚藏狮子游戏佛，宝胜佛，神通佛，药师琉璃光王佛，普光功德三王佛，闪住功德宝王佛，过去七佛，未来显劫千佛，1500佛，万5000佛，500花生佛，110金刚藏佛，
定光佛，六方六佛名号。东方宝光月殿月庙尊音王佛，南方树根花王佛，西方照晚神通焰花王佛，北方月殿清净佛，上方五树精进保守佛，下方善济月音王佛，无量诸佛，多宝佛，释迦牟尼佛，弥勒佛，阿处佛，弥陀佛，中央一切众生，在佛世界中者，行诸于地上虚空中，此由于一切众生，各令安稳修行，昼夜修持，心常求诵此经，能灭生死苦，消除诸毒害。南无大明观世音，光明观世音，高明观世音，开明观世音，药王菩萨，药上菩萨，文殊师利菩萨，普贤菩萨，虚空藏菩萨，地藏王菩萨，清凉宝山一湾菩萨，普光王如来花生菩萨，念念诵此经，七佛世尊即说咒曰：尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地，毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地。毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地。毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地。毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地。毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地。毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。尼波尼波地，求呵求呵地，陀罗尼地，尼阿那地。毗邻尼地，摩诃迦地，真灵称地，娑哈。十方观世音，一切诸菩萨，是愿救众生，称名悉解脱。若有智慧者，殷勤为解说，但是有因缘，读诵口不错，诵经满千遍，念念心不绝。火焰不能生，刀兵力摧折，慧怒生欢喜，死者变成活。莫言此是虚，诸佛不忘说。高王观世音，能救诸苦厄，临危急难中，死者变成活。诸佛语不虚，是故应顶礼。持诵满千遍，众罪皆消灭。后福坚信者，专攻受此经，愿以此功德普及于一切，诵满1000遍，众罪皆消灭。高往观世音经中。共念7遍往生咒。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他伽多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍但波比，阿弥尼多比迦南地，阿弥尼多比迦南多。迦尼尼迦迦那，吉多迦尼娑哈。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他伽多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍但波比，阿弥尼多比迦南地，阿弥尼多比迦南多。迦尼尼迦迦那，吉多迦尼娑哈。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他伽多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍但波比，阿弥尼多比迦南地，阿弥尼多比迦南多。迦尼尼迦迦那，吉多迦尼娑哈。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他伽多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍但波比，阿弥尼多比迦南地，阿弥尼多比迦南多。迦弥尼迦迦那，吉多迦尼娑哈。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他伽多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍但波比，阿弥尼多比迦南地，阿弥尼多比迦南多。迦弥尼迦迦那，吉多迦尼娑哈。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他伽多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍但波比， 阿弥尼多贝迦南德，阿弥尼多贝迦南多，迦尼尼迦迦那，最多迦尼娑哈。南无阿弥陀佛耶，多他迦多耶，多地亚他，阿弥尼多波比，阿弥尼多舍旦波比，阿弥尼多贝迦南德，阿弥尼多贝迦南多，迦尼尼迦迦那，最多迦尼娑哈。
Form the lineage of Guru Lamdre. Visualize the empowerment of the three lights by Padma Kumara.
持莲花童子心咒21遍。Om Guru Lian-Sheng Siddhi Hom. Om 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 Guru Lian-Sheng Siddhi Hom. 手结阿弥陀佛定印。
Form Amitabha meditation mudra. First empty your mind. Recite Sunyata mantra 3 times.
Sopawa Sutta Sarva Dharma Sopawa Sutto Hang. Om Sopawa Sutta Sarva Dharma Sopawa Sutto Hang. Om Sopawa Sutta Sarva Dharma Sopawa Sutto Hang.
Visualize in space a red six-syllable she, radiating bright red light. The six-syllable she revolves to become Amitabha Buddha. His whole body is red. He's wearing a kasaya robe and standing on a 1,000-petal lotus throne. His hands form the wish-granting mudra, and he compassionately gazes upon all sentient beings. Visualize Amitabha Buddha's brow point amid Urna Laksana light revolving, rising to the sky, arching and entering into our bodies from our apex. Our whole bodies become white and crystal clear transparent, and all karma is purged. Then visualize Amitabha Buddha becoming a drop of red light, entering into our apex, traveling in our central channel until reaching our hearts, and be seated at the lotus throne at the center of our hearts. Then Amitabha Buddha gradually enlarges to become as big as our bodies. Then we become Amitabha, and Amitabha is us. The two are merging and become one, completely inseparable. Recite Amitabha Buddha Heart Mantra 108 times. First perform Mala visualization.
Om Ami Devase, 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 องค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเสองค์อามีเตวาเส做9节佛风
Perform 9
有
cycle
3
Buddha
摩
breathing
地。
enter samadhi.
加持八大本尊心咒及念佛。
Recite heart mantras of invincible deity and incarnate Buddha
Mani
Amitabha.
เป็นมีหอมองค์ปนโมลิงต่อลิงโสขามองค์哈哈哈为什么耶โสขามองค์เจรีจุรีจุนทีโสขามองค์จัมปาลาชาเลิงชาลาเยโสขามองค์อาหมเปจากุรุเปมาสิติหมเซนองค์อาหมกุรุเปอาคือสัสมหาเลียนเซิงสิติหมเตยาทาองค์เปคาเจยาเปคาเจยามหาเปคาเจยาลาจาสมโมแคเตเหโสขาม南无36万亿119,500透明同号阿弥陀佛。南无36万亿119,500透明同号阿弥陀佛。南无36万亿119,500透明同号阿弥陀佛。加念除瘟疫度母。
Recite the mantra of Tara who dispels epidemics 21
ตา
times.
ลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุลานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุลานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะองค์ตาลาตุตาลาตุนานาโมฮาราเฮราหมฮาราโสค่ะ请大家起念，请佛注释起愿文。
Stay in the Saha world. I pay homage and supplicate His Holiness the Virtuous and Marvelous Tantrika, all Buddhas of the 10 directions, compassionate Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, and Dakinis, protectors of Dharma. The nights are long, the 3 poisons are proliferating. My body and soul are stricken, tumbling in the misery of perpetual rebirth. With great compassion, His Holiness came to this world to salvage the deluded ones. 3 jewels emanate wondrous light to provide refuge for all. All fortunate beings, human and devas, rely on his Vajrabodhi for the bestowal of teachings, vows, precepts, empowerments, and attainments. We disciples of Buddha plead that you stay in the Saha world to turn the Dharma wheel to benefit and give happiness to multitudes of sentient beings. Recite the mantra of longevity Buddha 108 times and dedicate the merits to the health and longevity of our lineage Guru.
嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈。嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈，嗡阿玛罗尼祖文帝耶娑哈， Om Ammanoni Tuwendiye Soha. 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 Om Amanoni Tuwendi Yesoha. 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 回向，敬愿庄严安乐力，普济浊世诸有情，西方皆应正无生。阿弥陀佛。
Who uphold the Buddha ascend to the realm of utmost bliss, repaying fourfold generosities from above, aiding those in the three realms below. Upon seeing the Buddha, may we transcend life and death. Like the Buddha, may we liberate all. To Buddha disciples wholeheartedly pray to the chief of the realm of utmost bliss, Sukhavati, the western paradise, Namo Amitabha Tathagata, to please shower luminous Amrita everywhere. Please protect our lineage Guru with great health, safety and peace, great bliss, self-mastery, spontaneity, so that he can stay in samsara to continually turn the Dharma wheel. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Tarji. Today, we had the group practice of Amitabha Buddha, deity yoga. Wholeheartedly we pay homage to Amitabha Yidam. Homage to the ever-attending Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. We pray to Amitabha Buddha to guide true Buddha school disciples that at the moment of death the Pure Land Trinity will appear and guide them to be reborn into the pure Buddha lands. We pray to Amitabha Yidam to guide the sentient beings with affinity to arrive at the pure land of the West. We pray to Amitabha Tathagata to radiate light and bless us, that all who uphold the Buddha, those who recite the Buddha's name and mantra, to receive the clear light radiance. To be guided to the four levels of the Western paradise. please radiate light and bless all participants with good health, all wishes fulfilled, and all calamities transformed into auspiciousness and with a strong spiritual commitment. We pray to Amitabha Buddha, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, and Amitabha Bodhisattva to bless us so that we are diligent in our spiritual cultivation, in our Dharma practices, so that we don't get lazy even for a day. We increase our merits, like spoken in the Amitabha Sutra. May we gain the infinite boundless merits so that we can be reborn in the Pure Land. Please bless us so that we are single-minded and in full concentration and can be reborn in the Pure Land. May our merits and meditations, our wisdom can be complete. Wholeheartedly we pay homage to Amitabha Tathagata, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Mahastama-prapta Bodhisattva. Namo Amitabha Tathagata, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Mahastama-prapta Bodhisattva. Gods in heavens, gods on earth, may be far from all calamities, may all calamities abandon us, let all disasters turn into dust. May all of our prayers be granted in perfection. We pray to Amitabha Buddha, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Mahastama-prapta Bodhisattva to please bless us with the eradication of karma, this disappearance of the pandemic, the disappearance of the coronavirus. Enemies and enmities disappear. May all adversities, adverse affinities disappear.
One.
Recite 100 syllable mantra 3 times.
Manohara Pecca Sato Tenu Padicha Zetso Me Pawa Soto Kayu Me Pawa Sopo Kayu Me Pawa Annolato Me Pawa Sarwa Siti Me Purayacha Sarwa Karma Sota Me Chitamo Siri Ren Guru Hom Ha 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 He Bhagawan Sarwa Tathagata Pecca Mame Mencha Pecca Pawa Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Pei Om Pecca Sato Samaya Manu Panaya Pecca Sato Tenu Padicha Zetso Me Pawa 哇，苏多开于美巴哇，苏波开于美巴哇。安乐拉多美巴瓦萨尔瓦西迪美布达亚查萨尔瓦嘎尔玛苏查美吉达姆西里人咕噜吽哈哈哈哈呵巴嘎文萨尔瓦达塔嘎达贝扎玛米门查。贝兹巴瓦玛哈萨玛亚萨多阿吽佩嗡贝扎萨多萨玛亚玛努巴那亚贝扎萨多德努巴迪查这座美巴瓦苏多开于美巴瓦苏布开于美巴瓦安乐拉多美巴瓦萨尔瓦西迪美布达亚查萨尔瓦嘎尔玛苏查美吉达姆西里人咕噜吽哈哈哈哈呵巴嘎文萨尔瓦达塔嘎达贝扎玛米门查贝兹巴瓦玛哈萨玛亚萨多阿吽佩。做观想大礼拜，一拜根本传承上师及诸佛。
Great homage using visualization, first to root Guru and all Buddhas.
二拜诸菩萨。
Second to all Bodhisattvas.
观想顶礼，回天心三印。三拜
Third to all Herukas and Dharma protectors.
观想顶礼，回天心三印，是平等以其手。念圆满咒。Om Brim Om Brim Om Brim Om Mani Padme Hum。让我们以热烈的掌声，感谢根本传承上师法王圣尊莲生活佛加持同修圆满吉祥。敬献哈达，请大家恭敬合掌。请释莲宴上师代表全体弟子向法王圣尊莲生活佛请法开示，敬献哈达，以表最崇高敬意。请大家一起虔诚恭敬合掌，恭请法王圣尊莲生活佛做宝贵的法语开示。
Let us now join our palms with reverence, and together we are inviting His Holiness to bestow the precious Dharma teachings. Homage to Master Sakya Dzongkhong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubdan Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of group practice today, Amitabha, Buddha of Sukhavati, the western realm of utmost bliss. Sumo, Rinpoche, all the Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples, and everybody present here and over the internet, how do you do?
Hola amigo, que quiero mucho. Sukoin, Ichiba, Kimochi, Jumi, Yabi, Purin Purin, Konbanwa, 今天这个大家，我回向的时候啊，我念这个。
Today, when I was dedicating the merit, I already called upon the names of my 4 gurus. Maybe you thought that Grandmaster forgot that it's about to teach Dharma, but actually that's not the case, because this evening the auspicious light was very radiant. The rays of precious auspicious lights around here. I saw the descent of these 4 gurus. So Amitabha Buddha, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Manohara Bodhisattva, and all the members of the Lotus division all descended. So they're all rays of lights in the whole temple and actually in the whole sky. So earlier they were all bright light in front of my eyes, and they were just sparkling and shining very brightly, and not anymore now, but at the beginning it was. So that's why I called upon the 4 gurus. Perhaps you thought that Grandmaster was making mistakes. That in reality is because I saw the 4 gurus. I saw the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, Master Sakya Zhengkong, His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and Master Dubden Dorji. And because I was very happy, that's why I called upon their names. And then I called on Amitabha Buddha, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. We know that Amitabha Buddha had 4 levels of Pure Land. The Pure Land of the both sage and mundane beings. And then the highest one is the Pure Land of permanent extinction. And there are the 3. So if you have gotten to the highest level of the Pure Land, you will not be reborn in the Saha world. But if you're at the lowest Pure Land, which is the Pure Land where the mundane and the sages reside, that's because you chanted the Buddha's name and mantra, and you didn't have spiritual union, but you chant the Buddha's name and mantra and you're single-minded, which means you're already in meditation, that your mind has been settled. that at the moment of death, you have chanted the Buddha's name and you're mindful of the Pure Land Trinity, then you would be guided there. But your karma is not completely eradicated. So you would be guided to the Pure Land where the mundane and the sages reside together. So there is a place for the mundane as well. So if you're non-returning, if you don't abandon it, then you will attain Buddhahood eventually. Because once you get there, there would be sages or holy beings that would teach you how to go to the next level, and then the next level, and then to the highest one, which is the Pure Land where the permanent extinction. So when you reach to the highest level of Pure Land, that is the nirvana without remains, which is the same as Buddhahood. Which means you don't have the fruition of life and death anymore. So you have no more the fruition of birth and death. That is called nirvana without remains. But if you go to the Pure Land with remains, that would be nirvana with remains. That's the third level. So there is no birth and death cause. There's no the cause for birth and death. And what is the convenient Pure Land with remain? That's the third level, which is you're already in meditation. You're not in the sixth rebirth realms anymore, but there's the transform life and death, but it's not the sixth rebirth realms. It is rather difficult to explain. So what kind of life and death for the mundane beings? It's like pieces in pieces. So what does it mean in pieces? You die. It's the death of a mundane being. So it's broken into pieces. That the life is broken, then you enter into the bardo state. The death, by death it's broken, then it's the bardo spirit, and then birth, and then another bardo, another death, another bardo. So that's the life and death in pieces. So the life and death of mundane beings is suffering, but the transformed life and death is in a flash. It's very swift. There's no rebirth cycle there. In the Journey of the West novel, it talks about the monk Tang who went to the Western paradise. and there was a river there, and his 3 disciples asked the monk Tang to get onto the boat. There's a boat. So they asked the monk to get on the boat without bottom. It's just water. A boat with water underneath. And the monk Tang said, how come there's a boat like this? Boat has bottom. Then when you get on it, you would die, right? But his disciple, the Monkey King, asked him to get on the boat. And he did. And once he got on the boat, he's fine. He could still sit on the boat. But not long, they saw a corpse flowing on the river, and when they took a look, it was the corpse of the monk Tang. So what does it mean? The one on the boat is not the physical being of the monk Tang. But it's the varied life and death monk. And from then on, there's no more physical body. So that kind of life and death is called the variation or varied life and death. So you can change like as you want, as you wish. However youthful you want to be, however handsome you want to be, you can always be youthful. It can be transformed immediately. So that kind of transformed or varied or variation, life and death. Then there's no more physical being, no more burials by the earth, water, fire, or on the plant. No more rebirth cycle of the 6 rebirth realms. So the key thing once you get to the Sukhavati is that it's not returning. Therefore, we all want to strive to be reborn in Sukhavati, so that we want, if we can have Amitabha Buddha to guide us to the Pure Lands, then we are at peace. That all the worldly affairs, big and small, it's not even as big as a sesame seed. They're all just farts. So when you come for spiritual consultation, actually they're all just farts. So you still care about mundane affairs, then you're not spiritual cultivator or sadhaka. Like how much you have in your bank account and you haggle over it, that's truly mundane. And who is bullying you today, that is mundane. and pain here and pain there or whatever, that's all mundane. That even if you meet favorable, helpful people, that's also mundane. And you still talk about money, about nobility, about wealth, prosperity, houses, cars. If you still think of this, that's all mundane. And the most sacred today is to be reborn in the Buddha land, Pure Land, and to have this variant life and death, no more 6 rebirth cycle. And then a step further, that there is no cause of life and death, with the nirvana with remains. And then if you progress further, there is no cause for life and death. There would be nirvana without remains. That would be the fundamentals, the basic. Otherwise, what would spiritual cultivation is all about? So don't care about all those little things. Why are you so concerned about them? No need to consult for those minor things. Why do you still come for spiritual consultation? The reason is because I'm still giving spiritual consultation is to resolve the mundane issues. Actually, there is no merits whatsoever. Therefore, Bodhidharma said the most statement, where there be any merits. The Emperor Wu of Liang said, I have built so many temples. South of the river, I have built so many temples, and I have raised or take care of so many monks and nuns that should have generated so much merits, right? And Bodhidharma directly replied to him, no merits whatsoever, because he used the highest standard to talk about merits. So revolving the afflictions of people, to give happiness to people, to resolve their sufferings, and to do it with joy. And you forsake everything equally. Even the loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity have no merits whatsoever. It is a very small fruit between heaven and earth. But however, why do we still need to, or do we want to accumulate those merits? Is you need to have these merits in order to meet the true, authentic guru or spiritual guidance to teach you. Otherwise, without encountering a good, true guru, and instead you encounter a fraudulent or fake guru, then you would still be in the rebirth cycle. So that's I would like to share at the beginning of this Dharma teaching. So Bodhidharma taught teachings in terms of the ultimate. There is no merits whatsoever. However, in the human world, we still want to accumulate merits. We still want to help beings and help people. Is to accumulate merits so that in the future we can meet a true, authentic spiritual guide to teach us. so that by your merits you can be reborn in the pure Buddha lands, so that you have the affinity to meet the true, authentic guru or spiritual guide. Prior to the Dharma teaching, I would like to start with a joke. On the train, there's an elderly man, and next to him was a young mom carrying her child, who's pulling her clothes off her breast. And she kept saying, no, it's not time yet. I will give you a drink after a few stations. After passing a few stations, she opened her bag and took a milk bottle, and the elderly man got off the train immediately. And he kept saying, she didn't say that it was just about the bottle, so that made me miss a few stations already. That's mundane, truly mundane. So now we'll do question and answer. Question from Malaysia. Homage to the teacher of heaven and earth, the lineage of Guru His Holiness Living Buddha Lian-Sheng, Grandmaster, auspicious, more auspicious. First question. When I initially enter Samadhi, being in union with the Yidam, I feel full of Dharma joy, and everywhere is clear light. But after a while, thoughts of self-existence give rise to all sorts of destructive thoughts. No matter what methods I use to ignore or stop them, it's hard to get back in. Grandmaster, how should I overcome this obstacle? So congratulations, Lianhua Xixiang, that he could enter and exit Samadhi, or initially entering Samadhi in union with the Yidam and feel full of Dharma joy. That's bliss. So that's the sensation of bliss. Everywhere is clear light. That's right. Like what Grandmaster sought, clear light everywhere. Clear light radiance everywhere. But after a while, thoughts of self-existence appear. You start to feel yourself. So that means you exit from Samadhi. Then all sorts of thoughts appear. Whether I try to ignore it or stop them, it's hard to get back in. Let me tell you. According to what I transmitted in Singapore at that time, what did I teach? The 9 stages of entering meditation. 9 stages of entering meditation. I was talking about this. You gradually increase the time of your meditation, the duration of your meditation. Initially, when you enter samadhi or meditation, you didn't say how long. When you start to be aware of yourself, that means you have exit from samadhi. When you are in samadhi, you feel the Dharma joy, and everywhere is clear light radiance. That's right. The Yidam is in union with you. The Yidam is you, and you are the Yidam. And you feel of Dharma joy, and everywhere is clear light radiance. But after a while, perhaps 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. If you can meditate for 25 minutes, that's already very good. That's really not bad already. Then you have passed. That every time you meditate, you can be in meditation for 25 minutes before you exit from samadhi. That's very good already. That means you have passed. If you can increase it, like me, one time I meditated at 2 a.m. When I exited from it, it was 4 a.m. So I was in meditation for 2 hours. In the middle of the night, I would practice. And after I complete my practice, exit from samadhi, then I would sleep. Every night I do that. I never stop. Now I do bardo deliverance every night. All those who died from coronavirus, I would invite them all by Golden Mother's great majestic power to bless them, by Amitabha Buddha's real power to guide them to the Pure Land, using Dharma ship, that they filled the Dharma ships, and together they are guided to the Western paradise of Amitabha Buddha. I do it every night. I never skip a night. And then I enter samadhi. Last night I saw Amitabha Buddha. And Amitabha Buddha, one like here, and first I saw the sun, the light rays, and at the center there's a dot, and then a cycle, a circle, and then it's becoming brighter and brighter, and Amitabha Buddha is right in the middle of it. And then the night before, I saw Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva holding the nectar vase and sprinkling the nectar upon me. And I was showered by the pure nectar. So every day there's something. So you gradually increase the length of your meditation. So you don't need to be worried about this. This is not considered an obstacle. It just means you exit from samadhi. That thoughts start to appear, and you start to feel that you exist. That means you exit from samadhi. The Venerable Elder Xu Yun meditated in Thailand for 10 days. And because he meditated for so long, he was still alive, passing the first day, second, third, fourth days. And more people came to visit him. And even the king of Thailand knew about it and came for pilgrimage to see him. So he was in meditation for 10 days. Is there a true Buddha disciple who could sit here for 1 day? One day it's possible. I shouldn't say that. After a day and a night, and the second and the third, and they don't eat at all, and then asking them to go eat and they just completely ignore. That means they're in meditation. Then I would pay homage to that person. If you can do it for 3 days and nights without eating and drinking, and of course you don't need to defecate or urinate. You just sit there unmoved. And the Venerable Elder Xu Yun could do it for 10 days. And one time, from Mount Puto, Zhejiang to Mount Wutai, he bowed, he paid homage every 3 steps. So from Puto-san to Wutai-san, the Mount Puto in Zhejiang to Mount Wutai in Shanxi. And then he was cooking some yam inside the tent. It was snowing outside. He wanted to eat the yam. So he thought he would meditate while waiting, but when he woke up, when he exited from Samadhi, everything dried up. The fire is gone, and there was even mold on the yam. So already moldy. So how long did he meditate it? Just imagine how many days he meditated that the yam got moldy. Didn't even know. So entering meditation, continuing to increase, your running thoughts continuing to decrease. And when you increase to a score of 10, then you have attainment. So by increasing a stage, then your thoughts are gradually decreasing or diminishing until eventually you have no more thoughts. So that even when you exit from meditation, you're still in meditation. What does that mean? Is that the person has no self and everything has no me or ego. So the person has no self and everything has no self. Then attachments to self and to everything are eliminated. That means you're always in meditation all your life. You never feel that self exists. You never have thoughts about yourself. So the person has no self. And when you are doing the Dhamma practice, you don't even know that you are doing the Dhamma practice. That means the Dharma has no self. Like Sakyamuni Buddha, everything is in meditation. Doesn't matter what he does, what he did. He was in meditation. If you can cultivate spiritually until you reach such a state, then you attain Buddhahood in this lifetime. That's the answer to Lianhua Jixiang. One is increasing, one is decreasing. You're increasing your meditation power, and you are decreasing your thoughts. then gradually you're increasing the duration of your meditation time. When you practice the Vajra chanting, when Qi enters navel chakra to melt the R character, I naturally fart. Sorry for the rudeness. Should I close off and lift up my anus so that I don't let out any gas? Or is my qi just butts in? That you naturally fart. Just with one fart. Oh, 2 farts. That's fine. Because you don't want to hold the qi. If the qi wants to get out, just let it out. Then you lift up your anus again. Sometimes you forget to lift up your anus. You lift up your anus, but don't pay attention to it. Just let it be natural. And it's okay to let out the gas a little bit. It's okay. It's a natural phenomena. It's not qi leaking or butts in. It's okay. And this is talking from experience. People with no experience would say, oh, you have to hold the qi. You have to hold the farts. Like when you were with your girlfriends, when you were dating, you never fart. When I was young, I did it. And even when I have gas and I wanted to let go of the gas, I would hold it. Only after I bye-bye with my girlfriend and walk further, then I started to let out. That's natural phenomena. Like when a lady is dating with a man and you continue to fart all the time, then the man would feel because in dating you want to show the best side of you, of both man and woman. There's this joke. A man went to see a great master and said, my wife is very very fierce to me, but my mistress is very nice and gentle to me. What should I do? And the master replied, never, very wise. Never believe in that show, because once she got to the position, then she would be all the same. When she's just a mistress, she's very caring and kind and gentle and tender. It's just about missing you, longing for you, and loving you every second and minute. That is all you in her heart. But once she gets to be your wife, that's the end of it. You're dead.
真的。
Right? When you were dating, do you dare to fart? No. But once you get married, oh, who cares? She starts to fart from the morning, all day. After marriage, that's it. It's better to be girlfriends and boyfriends. So farting is a normal thing. From Indonesia, Lianhua Youxiang. The name So it's truly fragrant, even the fart. Beloved Grandmaster, my questions are about Mahamayuri practice. Grandmaster once said that Mahamayuri is both Yidam and protector. And in your reply letter, you suggested that I practice Mahamayuri Yidam and protector. Should I do the Yidam and protector practices separately? Or by practicing the Mahamayuri deity yoga, it means that I have done both Yidam and protector practices? What do you think? Nobody replied? That's right. Once you gain spiritual response with Mahamayuri, then he is both your Yidam and protector. So Guru Padmasambhava's Yidam is Singamukha, and she's also his protector. So it's his Yidam, protector, and Guru. So Guru, Yidam, and protector are Singamukha. So Mahamayuri deity yoga, that means it's both Yidam and protector practices. When visualizing myself to be in union with Mahamayuri, am I in union with Mahamayuri alone without the peacock, or including his peacock throne? This means you think too much. You can analyze. In my Mahamayuri Dharma practice, I am in union with Mahamayuri without the peacock, or even including the peacock but without the peacock's feet. So you separate the feet from the peacock because the feet are ugly. Actually, you're in union. So, when you practice to be in union with Mahamayuri, So Moili Gelati, that's Mahamayuri. That means it's including the Mahamayuri and the peacock. They're all together. So you cannot say that you just include the peacock but not the feet.
第三个问题，我常梦到自己身体非常轻，可以飞。睡时跟静坐时，全身有软流。
I often dream of myself being very light and flying. When I sleep or in meditation, I feel flows of warmth. What should I do about it?
梦到自己身体轻可以飞，非常好。
That's very good.
没错，很好。 可以的，我常常梦到自己在飞行。
That's good. I often dream of myself flying.
我自己知道自己身体很轻，可以飞。我要梦到自己要去餐馆吃饭，餐馆在8楼，我没有坐电梯，我就坐在这个。
So the restaurant is on the 8th floor. I didn't take the elevator. I stand in front of the restaurant. And the person keeps flying up, levitating. And the window opens. And then I flew through the window. And then I sat on a seat and started to order. And everybody in the restaurant saw me flying in. Wow, he flew from the ground to the 8th floor and ate at the restaurant. That's my dream this past few days. I flew through the mountains, the rivers, flew to the Pure Lands. And I saw people like ants. And I flew in the sky. And they couldn't fly. So if you feel your body is very light and you can fly, that means your karma is very light. That's the sign that your karma is very light. When you sleep or in meditation, you feel flows of warmth all over your body. That means that inner fire has arisen. When you sleep, the inner fire is circulating inside your body. Or in meditation, you don't need to do anything. Just let it circulate naturally.
你如果觉得自己身体哪一个地方不舒服
If you feel discomfort in any part of the body, then you think of that part and to let it go to that place a little bit more. Then the discomfort will disappear. Most elderly at 40s, problems with your waist or backs, and at 50s you have problems with your shoulders. But until this year, I will not say how old I am. Some people never say their age. Even if you beat them, say how old you are, then they never say. Even when they're already so old, they would never say it. Because age is somebody's secret. It's also secret to Grandmaster. but my age is more than when Confucius died. Confucius died at 73. And at 60, Su Tongpo released all of his wives to let them marry somebody else's. When he was 60, Su Tongpo sent away all his wives, and he just kept one, Xiaorun, accompanying him, and the rest were sent away. Perhaps because Microsoft.
Microsoft 我们国语翻成微软，已经微软了。苏东坡60岁就微软了，老夫，我不能讲我几岁，我还在益阳来复呢。什么是益阳来复啊？
But as for me, I still have the Yiyang Laifu, which means when the qi fills to that place, it could still open the umbrella, which means when you're at sleep at night, there's an umbrella opened in your bed. That means because when the yang qi enters, even for babies, he's just very tiny, but it could still erect or stand up. The young people and for the elderly, usually they wither. Like Su Tongpo, when he was 60, he sent away all of his wives and only kept Xiaorun. So if you have a warmth flow, that's good. So those are signs when you have backache or shoulder ache at 40s or 50s. So only this year I had a little bit of pain in my shoulder, and I was at the Rainbow Temple. I could not lift up my arm. Remember one night, one day, and I thought, oh no, I could not lift my arm anymore. Couldn't extend it straight. Anybody saw that when I was at the Rainbow Temple? Many. But it only lasted for one day. Because I need to give blessings to other people. And I need to set protections for my room or for Simu's room. I have to bless Simu. So how could I not lift my arms? I have to chant mantra too. To block the doors, the windows, the sky, the earth. So I have to give blessings. So how could I not lift my arms? Not able to lift my arms, and how could I perform blessings? So that happened only one day. I prayed to Golden Mother, And then I circulated my inner fire at those places a few more times, and then I could lift my arms again. That's a real story. So when it happened, I could not lift my arm, but after I got home, I prayed, and I know about life, my lifespan too. And Amitabha Buddha told me that he would extend my lifespan 3 years. I said, only 3 years? That's so little. And then he asked me, then when would you want to go? And I said, I'm still very happy nowadays. When I'm not happy anymore, you can let me die. Because I am a happy person. Every day I'm very happy. When I'm unhappy already, then it's time for me to go. I know about my lifespan, my own lifespan. And Amitabha Buddha said that he would extend it by 3 years. But that's not enough. Because I still have the Yang Lai Fu, the one yang coming back. Oh, isn't that too early? And I told Golden Mother, what would you want to do in the human world? When it's time to go, it's time to go. But Amitabha Buddha wanted to extend my lifespan 3 years. So, do I want to extend it or do I want to stay? Amitabha Buddha asked me, what do you want to do in the human world? You think that human life is happy? It's like fish in scanty water. Is there any happiness? Bodhidharma said, is there any happiness in the world? When Sakyamuni Buddha gave a teaching, the first statement was, for the bhikshu, bhikshuni, upasaka, upasakis, listen, this life is suffering. The first statement of the Buddha's Dharma teaching. Therefore, Sakyamuni Buddha regarded that human life is suffering. And because it is suffering, you want to cultivate spiritually. The beautiful female teacher explained to the students. Ru is suckling, like pig suckling, or the pigeon suckling. That means it's a word in Chinese. This is only funny in Chinese.
老师讲，这个不行，再换一个。小明讲，我每天上学都要跳过我家门口的一条乳沟。老师说不行，再换一个。小明讲，老师，我实在想不出来。 我现在我的乳头都想破了。所以如有乳的用法，如有乳的用法，不能够完全都那个。
So sometimes terms or idioms mean different things. Now we will talk about Lamdre.
颂吟终极戒，是以是集会处宫殿。
Now, this is a brief explanation on the spiritual experiences of the middle accumulation period. The verse in quote, middle accumulation period, refers to the palaces of the four accumulation areas with the gathering of the potentially accumulable mind qi as the parents and the slightly lucid gathering as the reason. The verse in quotes, with the qi as a knife to open the channel knots, refers to the slight aches in the channel and qi like a balmy spring breeze. The verse in quote, pain of light drops, refers to the overflowing light drops in all channels which generate pleasurable pain. It is of utmost importance to guard against leakage. The verse in quotes, vivid sights, end quote, refers that by relying on the slightly clear ambrosia and slightly robust qi, it is not an exaggeration to say that one is able to have these sightings, which is the beginning of the transcendent power with leakage. So, the palaces of the four accumulation areas. We know about the 5 chakras. The brow chakra is the highest one. So, if it's 4, then it's without the brow chakra. So the throat chakra is the palace of the accumulation, the heart chakra, the navel chakra, and the secret chakra. They are the palaces of the accumulation areas. The gathering of the mind qi as the parents. Mind is the thoughts, and the qi, the air that you breathe in, or the fire, gathering there, water and fire are together with the qi. You use your qi to harmonize the water and fire, and you use your mind to accumulate at the palaces. Qi, light drops, and inner fire harmonize together with your thought or your mind together at the 4 palaces. The parents, the father is the fire, and the water, or the mother is the light drops or water. And by gathering there frequently, gradually, it would start to clarify. So to open the channels and the chakras, which is to open your chakras. The verse in quotes, with the qi as a knife to open the channel knots, end quote, refers to the slight aches in the channel and qi like a balmy spring breeze. So it's just a little ache, and it's pleasurable ache. It's not the true pain. So ache or pain when you open the channel, sometimes it's pleasurable ache. So Chinese words are really the best. When we say tong kuai, oh, tong kuai, pleasurable. It's so joyly or delight is it's pain and happiness together. So it's a little bit of ache and a little bit of pleasure in there. It's hard to describe. That's the pain of light drops. Like a balmy spring breeze. And the pain of light drops, overflowing light drops. For elderly people, they don't have saliva anymore, but I salivate all day long. When you're old, you would have dry mouth, and you have to drink all the time. But I salivate even when I give Dharma teaching. Can you hear it? So I continue to salivate. Those are light drops. So when the light drops are overflowing in all channels, and you have lots of light drops, then you have no illness because the light drops are circulating smoothly. Because you have the light drops flowing anytime, it would generate a pleasurable pain. Yeah, the pleasurable ache. It's very hard to describe. In Chinese we say tong kuai, heartily, that it's aching but it feels good. It's very hard to say. Tong kuai. Delighted or jolly. So it's utmost important to guard against leakage. And I have no leakage at all. But in your practice, you have to guard against leakage. When the bliss is appearing, immediately you have to cut it off. You have to turn your thought. Sometimes the long home twice and the short home 10 times. And you visualize the sixth syllable in the sky and you place your mind there. Don't feel the bliss anymore. And when the bliss diminishes, you start again. Then you can extend. The most important is not to leak. Leakage is also pain and pleasure mixed together. So at this time you have vivid or robust sights. And I am already non-leaking. There is no need to guard because you're already non-leaking. That light drops will never leak from your body. at that time, that your body and mind would be very clear, and you would start to have transcendent power with leakage. So if you're non-leaking, then you would definitely have transcendent power. As long as you have the channels open and smooth, that the heart chakra, the navel chakra, the secret chakra all open, then you will definitely have transcendent power. That you would be able to see Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Yidam, like yesterday, and that I would be able to see the 4 gurus descending. Then you would be able to see all those, to see the Yidam and all the lights. Last night, with my wife, we watched the horror movies, and it was so funny that she was so scared. But if I didn't faint first. The husband said, friends coming for dinner always say that you're very good, that you can uphold the house, and that the wife can uphold the house, maintain the house really well. That's very important. And how about you, Happy? Oh, because I can choose the right wife. Sumo has a strength, which is she can uphold the house, to housekeep really well, and not just housekeeping, but also the school keeping. I personally feel that drinking alcohol can definitely prevent the epidemic. You know why? Because when you're drunk, you will not be able to leave the house. And there's one more secret, that the alcohol can kill the germs. So I drink the alcohol to strengthen the bones. 58 proof.
58% 的 alcohol。你们喝几%的？老二会喝几%？现在没有了。哦，那这样你没有杀菌。
Do you drink? No. Then you don't kill the germs. You cannot drink alcohol. Alcohol is one of the 5 precepts. Because getting drunk, you can lose control. And You should not also harm your liver. You can only drink if you can still be in control, under self-control. But in Grandmaster's view, if you're drunk, then you're violating the precepts. If you just drink a tiny little bit, a tonic wine is okay, as the medicinal drink is okay. But once you're drunk, then you're violating the precepts. Then you're violating the 5 precepts. The wife left a message to the husband who worked late. I left you the ginseng chicken and the black bone chicken on the table, but if that's not enough for you, not enough tonifying for you, there's an old hen on the bed too. Spiritual cultivation for man has to be non-leaking the white body, and the woman should practice until they are not leaking the red body. When they're young, they have to stop the red body already, not because of menopause. Remember that. There's a niece at home, 5 years old, very naughty, and broke a bowl. And how did you break it? And then she took another bowl, and then threw it. Oh, this is how I broke the bowl. Om Mani Padme Hum. Very grateful to Grandmaster's precious Dharma teachings. We have several announcements. Tomorrow, on November 29th, at 3 p.m., His Holiness will be at the Rainbow Temple to preside over Manohara Homa fire offering ceremony. Manohara. And for details, please check the TB Rainbow website. And we have an event to provide warmth for the needy in the winter time. And if you would like to donate and help, please find someone at the temple. Now we are inviting His Holiness to bless the Great Compassion Holy Water and to consecrate Buddha images.
顶礼坛城做大礼拜，一拜根本传承上师及诸佛。嗡啊吽。二拜诸菩萨。嗡啊吽。三拜诸护法金刚。嗡啊吽。四平等一起手。同修会圆满吉祥结束了，感谢根本传承上师的大加持，感谢师母、仁波切诸位上师、教授师、法师、同门善信大德的护持，谢谢大家，阿弥陀佛。网络直播到此结束，谢谢大家的观看。We now conclude this live broadcast. Thank you for viewing. 现在我们恭请师尊以佛尘加